When you're hospitalized, it's common to feel scared, confused, and misunderstood. It's understandable to feel like there is no solution, but there is always hope for recovery. Although doctors and other hospital staff may seem to be only strangers, trust that they are there to help you. Hear for yourself that you are not alone in this experience. Hear for yourself how you can get better and recover.
I was diagnosed with bipolar when I was 17. However, when I look back upon it, I would say that 12 was when I first began living with mental illness. It really was a relief to be diagnosed initially with bipolar because I could go, that's why I'm having these highs and these lows. What's been really helpful for me to be stable living with my mental illness is to see a therapist. I see a therapist every week. That's something that I need to do.
My symptoms were so obvious that my parents, picked up pretty quick that there was something major going on. And they took me down to the big city of Rochester and to the Zumbro Valley Mental Health Center, which really treated me wonderfully. And I worked with a wonderful guy there, and he gave me the diagnosis of depression.
I had symptoms from a very young age. I can remember definitely back as far as 5 years old, just being super emotional and crying all the time and kind of having a feeling of being left outside of things. The first thing that helped me to get better was an accurate diagnosis. That was just a turning point, a total turning point. And what helped me get better after that, for me, medication is absolutely an essential component of wellness, and it always will be.
My symptoms first appeared in college. I was living a pretty aggressive lifestyle between studies, extracurricular activities, and then the social scene at the university. And I was putting a lot of pressure on myself to succeed and setting some unrealistic expectations, and I felt myself sort of always continually falling short of what I thought was good or satisfactory. And what initially helped me to get better was just to open up and talk. I had this perception that as a male or whatever, a successful human being, I couldn't exhibit any signs of weakness. So I didn't ever really tell anybody at all that I was really feeling quite empty.
Well, I was only hospitalized twice, and those were 72-hour holds. It's the most powerless feeling I can just think of ever, other than losing a loved one. I just cannot imagine feeling more powerless, and I can't imagine how to convey that to someone who hasn't been through it.
And I spent 5 years of my life hospitalized. And I had a lot of bad experiences with the professionals. And I did throw the baby out with the bathwater. I said, I'm not going to go see a therapist or check myself in. And I was able to then, too, with this not asking why, I was able to ask for help again. Found out that these people the professionals that I'd seen as my jailers were now becoming my angels. My knights in shining armor, knights in white lab coats.
I learned that this is a real gift to me, that I can share what's happening with me to other people, so they understand if they're working with an individual that hears voices or somebody that hears voices, feels comfortable to talk to me, that we can share our symptoms.
At times, it can seem like being diagnosed with a mental illness or having some adverse mental related action or event can sort of be like the end of our future. Like, oh, well, now I have this thing that's going to prevent me from doing everything that I've always wanted to do. It may end up being a great benefit in the future to have to go through that struggle and strife.
I can't attribute getting better to just one therapist or medication. It was really the entire package of regular exercise, sleeping, eating well, open communication, getting the help I needed when I needed it, and just being consistent about each of those things. Sleep, especially, some of these things that I think a lot of people just put to the side or don't give enough credit to, really did make a huge difference for me.
I got good help. I fell in love. I had the arts working with me. I stopped asking why. I started to focus on where I was right now. Was so good at going either into the past or the future. But the truth is all we have is right now. I found new meaning and purpose. And this is one of the things that I think is so important for professionals to understand, is that one of the things that happens when you get mental illness is sometimes the death of your dreams.
I feel that hope is pretty much the most important thing in the world. Because when you don't have hope, that's when the bad thoughts creep in. When you don't have hope, that's when you start believing there's something wrong with you. You're defenseless, you really are. So hope is essential, because without hope, it's too easy to give in and give up that fight. And I don't want you to give up that fight. I don't want anyone to give up that fight.
People with mental illness are the most courageous people I've ever met. Yes. There's no one who can go through a disease like this and make it to the other side who hasn't exhibited courage on a scale that's just unbelievable. So I think that's what I've learned, is that courage is inside all of us. And, we just have to keep going every day, trying to, put on our clothes or brush our teeth, or those little day-to-day things sometimes are really difficult, but those are the steps that keep us moving forward.